Hi everyone, my name is Grigory Trofimov. Today we're going to talk about AI innovations for software test automation. If you'd like to participate in today's presentation, please submit your questions to the question area and we will address those questions at the end of the presentation today. We should have some time for Q&A. With that being said, let's go ahead and get started. 2021 is a pretty exciting time for artificial intelligence. There's been a lot of progress made in various areas of this particular practice, of this particular technology, but it's definitely not perfect. So for me, a good way to sort of characterize the state of AI in 2021 is kind of the robot vacuum cleaners or Roombas, if you're familiar with those. They're very good at what they do. They clean the floor. They're able to pick up dust and pet hairs and maybe pet food and things like that to actually map out the room pretty well and sort of adjust to furniture. And AI has been really good in that sense. So when you look at things like self-driving, when you look at targeted advertising or Siri, Alexa, etc., there's a lot of good coming from the way AI is being introduced into the world and really kind of leaving that sort of sci-fi world and making its way into the mainstream. And that's really the good side of AI. On the other hand, you can't really still rely on AI exclusively, right? So Roombas can't really handle stairs very well, or I mean, maybe they can now, but last I've seen, they tend to sort of fall over the stairs, or if their sensors get blocked, they kind of get themselves into trouble. Similarly, if you use your Roomba to pick up some jelly or some pudding on the floor, it actually makes things a lot worse, right? It's going to spread it all over the floor, and now you actually have to clean up much more of a mess than you had initially, right? So AI is kind of in a similar place in 2021. On one hand, you have extremely powerful processors and computer chips, and you have the World Wide Web and quantum computing, all these things that really enable AI to be powerful and very helpful in our day-to-day lives. On the other hand, you kind of have to think about, what is the right application of AI? Should we be using AI here? Things like facial recognition, deepfakes, etc. That being said, obviously Roombas and robotic vacuums aren't necessarily the pinnacle of AI either, right? So the bar for what we consider good artificial intelligence really kind of has been raised in the last few decades, right? So in the past, things like um, optical character recognition were considered state of the art artificial intelligence. Then the ability to have a conversation through questions and answers was really considered AI being able to fool people to think that machines were humans. And that's really elevated here, right? So now, if we look at the broad definition of AI, it's a broad discipline that covers anything related to making machines smart, exposed to the ability of a computer program or machine to think and learn for itself. I like to simplify this definition a little bit, right? So AI, the guiding principle of AI is being to take an input and process that input and return the output, the result in a fashion that a human does not recognize that it was a machine that did it, right? So basically, do things like a human would, and a human shouldn't be able to tell the difference that that it wasn't a human that did it. And that could be a little tricky because we humans, we're always changing the rules, right? I mean, even for AI, like we're always raising the bar, we're always redefining things, we're always adjusting to changes, we're always adapting to our environment. So us humans, we have this intrinsic drive to always change things, to always move things around. And so for AI to do that, it needs to be able to learn, it needs to be able to look around, figure out its the surroundings.
Thanks for watching this webinar preview on our YouTube channel. We hope you enjoyed it. To watch the full webinar, click in the description below. In addition, you're going to find some other useful links down there. And of course, we hope you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks. Have a great day.